This is lesson 1 for Autodesk Fusion 360. When we start Autodesk Fusion 360, we are looking at an interface for us to log in with our username and password. If you don't have an account yet, you need to create an account. For me, I have already created my account with my university email address. This will make sure that we can get this license for free as a university faculty or student. So I'll log in now with my username and password. It takes a few seconds to load your setting. Once it is loaded, it will show the data panel on the left hand side with all the information that about the model. And if you want to change any of these models, you can click into the folders. The models are organized as projects folders, and for our course we can create a new project called Parametric Modeling. Hit enter to finish. And then we can double click it, and we can create a new folder, for example in this case Chapter1. And we probably will not create any model here. If we do, it's just some examples, and you can hide or show the data panel by clicking this button. And take a look at all the menus and toolbars. Get yourself familiar with this user interface. Sometimes it pops out some message. We can just let it go because it's not important for us right now. This shows my Autodesk account. If you want to do any account management, you can go through here, and also you can go to the preference to change some of the settings. For example, you may be interested in changing the precision of the dimensions, angular precisions, etc. for your dimensioning purpose in the model. There are many settings here. We'll come back to this sometimes later if necessary. For me, I set the standard, I think it's in the metric units, and if your design is mainly in inch, then you can change them to inch. This is the millimeter, the units. So for me, I select millimeter as the default units. Alright, so I'm not changing anything, so I'm just clicking cancel. Alright, so these are the typical menus that you can find in most Windows applications, and this is one file which is called untitled. That means we haven't saved anything yet, but if we want to save it, we can always give the name. And then here is a ribbon for all the functional buttons, and if you click this button here, and you will see a drop-down list of all the functions related to this particular group. There are many of them. We are going to use some of these during the semester. In the first one, it's called the workspace. So right now we are in the model workspace, but there are other workspaces. For example, for the model, it's just for 3D solid modeling. For the patch, it's for surface modeling. For sheet metal, that's something new that we will not use in this class, but it will be useful if you happen to have this need for the sheet metal working. This is for just graphic rendering, animation, simulation. This is for the engineer analysis. This one is for the manufacturing planning, mainly for CNC toolpath planning. And the last one is the drawing from either the design or animation. So in this class, we are mainly going to deal with the model and also the drawing. We also use some functions of CAM for manufacturing planning purpose. Alright, on the left hand side, it's a model tree in the browser. And on the bottom there is a modeling history timeline. We'll see a lot of our sketch and the features at the bottom of this timeline. In the future lectures, you will see a lot of our history where we can access if we want to go back to modify whatever we have created. At the bottom here, these are the view manipulation methods. There are a lot of options here. We are going to get to them when we need them, and when we need them you will see the function of these buttons control. And on the top right there's a view cube. If you rotate this view cube or click somewhere on this view cube, you will be able to quickly go to the view direction that you would like to go to. So this is the user interface, very straightforward. Now let me create a very simple model just to start with, give you some idea about how this may work. So let me create a rectangle, and I want to add dimension to it. Now just a rectangle. So let me put this to be 100 by, for example, 50. Alright, so now I stop sketching. This is my first sketch. Now I want to create a 3D object. I select this user interface, and I will select this as my profile, and I'll add, for example, I want to extrude it by 70. So this is a box I created. This is first a 3D feature, and you will see that there are two objects showing here. One is a sketch, that's the first sketch I created, and then this is extrude, this is the 3D feature I created. And you can also see the information here. Sketch is here, and this is the body, this is the 3D feature I just created. And you can also see here the Cartesian coordinate system that is used to support this whole environment. And here right now is showing millimeter, and if you don't like millimeter, you can always switch to inch. So that's very simple. The first example that we see in this lesson 1.